A couple of years ago, I posted something on TikTok and it went absolutely viral. Millions of people saw it. Both sides of the internet lost their minds. Men came for me, women came for me, but people that disagreed with me really came for me. And it was one of the wildest things I had ever experienced on the internet, mind you. I had just started posting on the internet for real on TikTok months before. So I was brand new to this world of controversy and I stood my ground through every single moment of it. Why? Because I knew I was right. Hey, I'm Whitney Marie. If you're new here, if you're not, welcome back. This channel is for the woman that may have it all together on the outside, but is still working on the inside, doing that inner work. Style, relationships, self-concept, and the things that nobody says out loud, but I'm going to. Because at the end of the day, this is all about mastering the art of becoming your favorite person. Let's get into it. What did I post, you ask? I invented something called the age gap calculator. And today, for the first time ever in history here on YouTube, I'm going to walk you through what it is, how to use it, why it works, why it went so viral, and why the people that were so upset with me were honestly just proving my point all along. By the end of this video, you are going to have a tool that you can use to apply to any age gap relationship. It's a real practical sliding framework to help you assess whether the dynamic of that relationship is healthy or if it could be really ripe for abuse. We're not about to guess anymore, okay? We're putting actual math to the test. And then at the end, I am going to tell you where this goes next. Because this video is just part one, there will be a part two where we dive deeper into the psychological aspects of age gap relationships, red flags, and the questions that you need to be asking yourself and that other person. That one is on its way, so please subscribe and turn on your notifications so you get that as soon as it drops. Created from real personal experience, from watching women that I love navigate these dynamics, from a deep belief that women deserve better tools to protect themselves rather than just and only trust your gut, because sometimes y'all's gut be leaky. Okay. And a lot of y'all can't get to trusting it. So here I am to give you the tools so that you can then trust it. You're feeling me? Okay, great. Now, before I walk you through the calculator itself, I want to tell you why I created it, because it did not come from nowhere. It came from a very specific frustration. Most of you have heard this old rule of, what is it? Half of your age plus 7 or minus 7 is the idea that the youngest person that you can date should be half your age plus 7 years. So if you're 40, the youngest acceptable partner in society should be 27 years old. If you're 30, then it's 22, that kind of thing. And while that rule is better than nothing, I suppose, I had always been bothered by it because it's just a flat number. It does not account for real life experience, emotional maturity, financial independence, or the very real ways that power can be weaponized in a relationship where one person has significantly less or more of it than the other. So a 21-year-old and a 30-year-old are technically within the range of that rule. But a 21-year-old is often still figuring out who she is, still very susceptible to being shaped by society, by outside influence. 21-year-olds literally just started being able to drink in the United States. They are typically still at a stage where someone older than them and more established than them can really architect and shape the way that 21-year-old continues to grow. And that needed a better framework. So I built one. Maybe you're someone who has always felt a little bit uneasy about a relationship that either you're in or you were thinking about getting into, maybe yours or someone else's, but you could not quite articulate it, right? Because people can always argue, I mean, she's 21, he's 30, like they're adults, they're grown adults, they're grown people. Maybe you've been always told like age ain't nothing but a number, or oh my gosh, she's so mature and she's literally 19. So many times that you begin to think that your discomfort is more the problem than the actual age gap between the two people. Or maybe you're just genuinely curious that this would apply to your situation. I'm going to walk you through it and we're going to use the math in real time right now. So here's the reframe that I want to offer before we get into the calculator. The conversation around age gaps has always been about a number. How many years apart are they? And I want you to know that that is the wrong starting point. And I am here to influence society to think much deeper than flat number being the guiding light of whether or not something should be acceptable or not. The right starting point is, what does this age gap actually represent in terms of power, influence, and vulnerability? Because those things are not fixed, and definitely not fixed by anybody's age or a number. They are typically dependent on where each person actually is in their life. So a 9-year age gap between a 21 and a 30-year-old is not the same age gap as a 41 and a 50-year-old. That number is identical. The 9 is identical. The dynamic is completely different. And any framework that treats those two situations the same is not doing their job. Okay? That's why I intercepted and said we need something different. So the age gap calculator accounts for that. So here's how the age gap calculator works. It is 3 very simple steps. Step 1, find the difference in age between two people in a couple. Step 2, subtract that difference from the younger person's age in said couple. Step 3, ask, would it be acceptable for the younger person to date someone of that age? If your answer is no, that warrants that relationship to have a very serious look. And if the answer is yes, then you're likely in safe territory. So let me show you what this looks like in actual practice. Let's use the example we talked about earlier. We have a 21-year-old woman and a 30-year-old man. Step 1, the difference between the two of them is 9. Step 2, the difference between a 21 and a 9-year-old is 12. Step 3, would it be acceptable for a 12-year-old to date a 21-year-old person? The obvious answer is no. That is predatory by any standard. So what the calculator is showing you is that a 30-year-old pursuing a 21-year-old carries that same type of energy, because a 21-year-old in so many ways is still at such a formative age in their life, and it shows that there might be a power imbalance that is high enough that could increase the risk of such thing happening. Now, does that mean every 21 and 30-year-old is an abusive relationship? No. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that it meets the conditions by which abuse could be present. And that is something that is worth knowing. Example 2, we'll use a previous example as well. You have a 41-year-old woman and a 50-year-old man. Step 1, the age difference is still 9 years. Step 2, 41 minus 9 is 32. Step 3, would it be acceptable for a 41-year-old to date a 32-year-old? Yeah, a 32-year-old should be fully autonomous, should have some sort of stability in their life, be it financially, mentally, or otherwise, and have a really good established sense of self. Same 9-year age gap, completely different dynamic. That is the sliding scale in action in the age gap calculator. And really, this is why age is never just a number, and context and nuance is literally everything. And I am begging people to take the calculator and really plug it into their relationships that they see or the relationships that they're in, and see and really think through that step 3. Although it could be subjective, I do encourage you to think long and hard about what that can actually do or represent. And so when I posted it on TikTok a couple years ago, I had no idea what was about to happen. I wasn't even prepared for any of the madness that ended up ensuing. But the comments were flooded with women who had been in these relationships that were saying things like, hey, this explains everything. Like, I wish I had this tool sooner. I wish I knew about this. I'm going to share with my nieces and my daughters and my cousins and my sisters. I finally have the words for what happened to me. And that was so powerful. And then you had the other side. You had men who felt particularly called out. You had women defending their current partners. I mean, there were extreme disparities between these ages. People telling me that I was reaching, that I was bitter, I didn't understand love, I'd be single for the rest of my life. And here is what I noticed. The people that were the most angry were people that the calculator called out explicitly. They were triggered, they were activated, and they felt personally attacked. I wholeheartedly believe that they were not mad because I was wrong, because I wasn't wrong. I think they were mostly mad because they were being called out. And they felt literally attacked. And they weren't ready to sit with that. Anyway, I said what I said. I said what I said, and I still say what I said. And every comment, every stitch, every reaction, it went to Twitter and Facebook and all the places. It did not matter to me because I did not create that to become popular. Okay, I created it because women need it. And millions of views later, I think the response finally confirmed that. And here's what I want to say to anyone who just watched this video, random numbers, and did not like what they just saw. The calculator, the age gap calculator, is not a final verdict, okay? It is a prompt. It is a tool that is a prompt. It is not telling you that you and your relationship or your partner are doomed for exile. What it is doing is inviting you to ask a question that you may have been avoiding. Is the gap between your relationship a power imbalance? Is that imbalance being held with genuine care, love, and respect? Or is it being used, even subtly, to keep you smaller than you actually should be? So, the age gap calculator is not here to dictate who you should love. It is really here to help you discern more clearly before you dive deep into a situation that could potentially be harmful to you before you realize it. It's about making sure that you're choosing someone with full context in mind from a place of full information. You deserve to have it figured out too. This is really particularly for my young women in their 20s or younger, or if you have nieces that need to see and hear this, I'm telling you, they need to understand this calculator and what it does for them. So I want to hear from you guys. Run the calculator on a situation in your current, past life, relationship, and were you surprised by the results? Were there red flags that you had already seen and you're still like, wow, I really wish I had this back then? Or did it give you the green light? You know, not have to share exactly, but I genuinely want to know where this lands in your actual real lives, not just in theory. If you want to go deeper on this with me in part 2, I am going to jump head first into the psychology, the red flags, and the specific questions that you should be asking yourself and them before you dive deep into an age gap relationship that you may not be ready for. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications. That one will be dropping very, very soon. We have new videos here every week, real conversations, more tools, more hard truths wrapped in soft glam and a little bit of softness that will actually change your life. I'll see you next time, Bookies. Mwah!